Look, there's no doubting that things haven't gone to plan for us since the 1-2 in Singapore, but, I really don't think there's any need to panic. We got really unlucky with the safety car in Austin. I think that race was going to come back for us, and, as for Japan, I just don't think anybody really performs that well after a 4-day fender celebrating a 1-2 in Singapore. Hi guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Kicking Haas. There are 3 races to go. We are third in the Constructors, though Mercedes has taken absolute chunks out of that. K-Mag is now 18 points back of Verstappen, having, we haven't scored a point in 2 races, but today we are in Mexico. We have enough parts on the car, I hope. We don't have her underfloor yet. That's actually going to be ready. Today is sort of Friday in game, so it's going to be ready Saturday. So I don't know if I'm able to sort of jump out from the race weekend, emergency manufacturing on the floor, and get it on the car for Saturday. I don't know. I suspect not, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm hoping we've got to have a good race today. We'll have a new on the floor ready to go for the last 2 races, and well, we'll go from there, won't we? You can see here if we go to car development, let me go over here. It does. 1 day till the underfloor is completed, and that is a little bit frustrating. We've got a little bit of research being done for next year's car, and then the R&D resets after this race, and then we're gonna have to, well, obviously we have to look for next year's car because we won't be able to get something manufactured to put onto this year's car as it is. Now in terms of the drivers, Sargeant and K-Mag don't have any development points. Crawford does, so we'll go and stick that up here for Jack Crawford, and that is all well and good. And there's nothing to add for staff, I don't think, is there? No, there is not. So it's only been 4 days since the last race, so there's not a chance for much to have happened. And let's have a look and see what we're doing here. The overview of the track, it looks like it's going to be a dry weekend, which may or may not help. We'll find out soon, I suppose. We can see there for qualifying, red sector 1, blue sector 2, yellow sector 3. It's high speed and it's low speed is pretty much it, isn't it? Car attributes, low speed and high speed corners is what you want. Now our car that is where it tends to be at its best. We're sort of a very draggy car again, all of a sudden. But pit stops about 24 seconds, knock about 10 seconds off that for a safety car stop. It's expected to be, well, you can 1 stop or 2 stop. Depends how aggressive we want to be, I suppose. Compound performance, you can see there is quite a drop off on the soft, but the time difference is pushing a second a lap. So again, late race safety car, that might be something we consider. Last year's race, K-Mag 6th. We had Sargeant down there a lap down in 16th, so he needs to do a little bit better than that today. Max Verstappen has won every race here, which is not great. We don't need him doing that today. And yeah, let's go and see what our performance targets are here. Qualifying, we need 1 in the top 8. So therefore Q2 and Q3 are they're a given if we're going to do that. Fastest lap, let's just go for it. Who knows? You never know what we can get. And finishing streak, well, we need a car in the top 10 for the last 3 races there, and a car in the top 10 for the next 2 to get that money. And of course, with K-Mag leaving the team and Crawford coming in, we need all the money we can get this year, because I don't think we're going to be getting many performance targets next year. Anyway, let's head off to Mexico and let's see what we can do here. Alright, there we go. We can see there is no rain forecast. That takes a bit of pressure off me, doesn't it? I'm going to do some free practice and I will see you for qualifying. Okay, so free practice is done, and it didn't particularly go to plan, if I'm honest. Now, you will notice here there's quite a few penalties, and I'm thinking, looking at it, it's perhaps number 2, Mercedes, Ferraris, and Red Bull. Now, are we dreaming a little bit too much to hope that maybe the other cars will take a penalty before the end of the season, which would help us, of course, meaning Verstappen will get a penalty. In this session, we had Sargeant 15th, Crawford in the car was 19th, FP2. If we just quickly scroll down, Magnussen 14th and Sargeant 18th. And we scroll down here again, and we will see 17th and 20th. Now, again, of course, we do have the older parts in the car, which we will fix before, qualifying. Now, K-Mag didn't quite get, we don't know if his setup's perfect or not. I'm thinking it probably is, but we just literally, like, minutes ran out of time. Maybe I should pay more attention when I'm free practice is on, instead of just watching something else on YouTube as I get distracted by it. But anyway, that's beside the point. Every team owner in Formula 1, every team principal is always watching something else and they get distracted. So it's absolutely fine. But I'm going to do free practice. We've done that. I'm going to go to qualifying even, and it should be okay for Q1, I would imagine, with all these new parts in. But if it is going to become an issue, obviously, we will come back for the second runs. So, yep, absolutely fine. One run for both cars, 7th and 10th in the end. Those eliminated Ricardo, Hamilton, a bit of a surprise perhaps, Schumacher, Ocon, and Tsunoda as well. So on to Q2 we go. Alright, so we are on board with Logan Sargeant. We are currently 7th and 9th. As ever, we did the first run on used tyres, so this is our new set. We've got a yellow flag, which I don't think is going to affect us. It's Albon, and yeah, so he's going again, it looks like. What's going on here? Albon's locked up at turn 3, which doesn't affect us, and we're now at the end of the straight. I'm not quite sure. It's a little bit confusing as to what the game was doing there, but that's okay. We have done green first sectors. It looks as though, I mean, K-Mag should be fine. He did a very similar time. Now, Sargeant is currently up. He did do a very similar time to what he did in the first session, and he was comfortably through there. Now, Sargeant needs to improve. He needs to go at least to one more higher. Oh, he doesn't. He's out. Sargeant can't get out of Q2. So that is a little bit of a surprise, if I'm honest. Now, he will move up with penalties. But yeah, very, very disappointing for that to have happened. But anyway, K-Mag is still alive. Let's see what he can do in Q3. Okay, we're coming around second run. K-Mag, as ever, used tyres first run and is 7th. Verstappen is not that far ahead of us. So if we can improve a little bit, that would be very good. We only need about although it's assuming Verstappen doesn't improve, and he's done a green first sector, so he is improving. K-Mag has done a green sector as well. We know that just from the tyres, there should be about a 10th, which is what we are right now. But, I mean, if we can get ahead of Gasly, just make sure there's no cars between us and Verstappen, that is probably not a bad place for us to be. And let's see, a green second sector as well. Verstappen has stayed 5th behind Perez, crucially, who of course has got penalties, so likely taken a new a new engine thing. And we go 8th, we stay 8th. That's not great. There is of course penalties involved there, so it'll be a Russell Leclerc front row, and we will be next to Verstappen on the second row of the grid. So it's not ideal, and then potentially Sargeant could be on the third row as well. So this could be on. It's going to be an interesting race, that's for sure. Alright, so indeed, we do start 4th and 6th. Now, there's cars behind us that are obviously going to be quite quick. Now, if we go soft-hard, I'm thinking I like the idea of soft-hard because if there's a safety car at any point, we have then we should have a new set of softs and a new set of mediums. It will avoid a repeat of what we saw in Austin last race where... well, we got screwed, didn't we? We got absolutely screwed by a safety car. I'm not quite sure why this is the preferred strategy, because this gets you there as well. And you should get an undercut on the hard tyre going while everybody else is on used mediums that should be aging. So, we're going to go with... what have I clicked on there? We're going to go with C. I think we're going to do that on both cars. Because I don't see why you wouldn't use the soft tyre if you have the option to use a soft tyre. I just don't see why you wouldn't do that. But anyway, let's hope that we get a good solid race here. Alright, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. There are our two Haases on the inside there, which could be good, you know, inside of turn 1, outside of turn 2, but then inside of turn 3. Didn't look like a great start from us there. And we've got, who's that on the outside there? Alonso. We are tucked in behind a Ferrari. We've got some medium tyre runners around us. We are, of course, deploying off the line as ever. So there's not many soft tyre runners. I don't understand why you wouldn't use a soft tyre, because it's a second a lap faster. And we've seen it's more than capable of getting you to a hard tyre, which can then get you to the end. Now, we've currently got Magnussen all over the back of Verstappen. Now, we know we have to beat Verstappen. We have to be ahead of Verstappen this race, realistically. Close the gap down from 18 points. And then, new underfloor coming for the last 2 races. We can sort of work on things from there. But we are right behind. We know our car is draggy, but we are deploying. And, of course, DRS will be opened at the end of this lap, which should help us a little bit as well. So there's not too much benefit to it right now. We'll keep it maybe for the stadium section coming into there. See if we can get something done on that front. Looks like Sargeant is still behind Alonso as well. Here, right, this is it. Can we stick a move on Verstappen into the stadium? No. So we'll go back to neutral. We'll do the same thing for Sargeant. And yeah, I mean, there's going to be a DRS train, isn't there? That's going to be the issue. Oh wait, Sargeant did get... he did get Alonso. Very nicely done. Where's he done that? We should get a replay.
Let's see what happened.
And let's see what he's done here. That is on the outside, turns into the inside. That is very nicely done. Logan Sargeant putting a move on Fernando Alonso. None of us thought we'd be seeing that today. Oh, multiple cars have crashed. Multiple cars have crashed. We do have a safety car. Alright, now this doesn't really help us too much. I don't see a need to pit because it's too soon. But it will let us get those soft tyres that little bit further into the race, won't it? It's a bit of a shame because there was quite a gap. You can see there just before everybody bunches up that had stuff open between the top 5, which included both our cars, and then Perez and sort of an Alonso train that was that had developed. So yeah, a little bit of a shame, but we'll take it. And yeah, like I say, it doesn't affect us too much right now because it's too early for us to stop. Alright, so safety car is in this lap. Now, I've got mixed thoughts on if this is good for us or not. We will deploy and try and make the most of our soft tyres here if we can. Because on the one hand, obviously, we can go a little bit deeper into the race. Oh, Sargeant, I don't want you getting past K-Mag, mate. I don't want you doing that. It's okay. We'll let him go, and he can crash into the back of Verstappen. Okay, what we don't need is Perez getting past us as well here. We are on board, obviously, with K-Mag, in case you hadn't figured that out. But, I mean, what it's done is it's bunched the field up. But what it would probably mean is that we are coming in, we will be stopping before everybody else. And we're going to end up at the back of the field. Now, they will eventually all stop themselves. What's Sainz doing back there? I wonder if he was part of the crash that brought out the safety car. I forgot to show you a replay. I didn't look at the replay myself. So, yeah, I'm just wondering. We've lost that gap, but everybody else is going to have to stop as well. So it should get out of our way. But I worry a little bit that for the time when we should have been on, nice, fresh, hard tyres, everybody else on their worn mediums, and we could have been doing good lap times, I just worry a little bit here. And what we might actually do is just go back to neutral so we've got some deployed laps. Look at Sargeant trying to put a move on Verstappen. That's okay, Logan. If it happens to go a little bit wrong and you hit Verstappen, then we're all forgiven. But yeah, we'll find out, won't we, if that safety car in the end does work out for us or not. We've had one that worked massively for us in Singapore, one that worked massively against us in Austin, and I haven't decided what this one's done for us yet. Alright, now we've had some pit stops. That caught me off guard from medium tyre runners, I assume. Sargeant has dropped suddenly right off the pace, which is not ideal. Okay, I don't want to let Perez pass, but we very much want to get... I don't think there's a way to do this without... Yeah, is he going to let... Yeah, Perez is going to get past as well, but we need K-Mag in some free air here. The issue we also have, as Perez is coming in the pits anyway, why is everybody pitting before us? I'm really confused as to what is going on here. Okay, so what we need to do then is we need to attack and deploy, because these could be very, very important laps for us here. Very, very important laps for us. Alright, now Logan Sargeant has come in the pits. He's got the fastest lap. He is down there in 11th now. K-Mag doesn't really need this battle here. Is it the tyres that are gone? Yeah. He doesn't really need that battle there with Bottas. Let's see where this comes out. Now, Verstappen was quite a ways ahead of him. So they must be two stopping then. Those cars that came in earlier must be two stopping and not one stopping. So we come out just ahead, do we, of Sargeant. Now, Sargeant should still be on don't fight teammate, please, Logan. So that is... Where is Sargeant? How close behind? He is relatively close behind. So, well, now we need to... 25 seconds off the leader, which is Verstappen right now. He's in the pits. So he's got... If he is one stopping as well by the looks of things, it doesn't make sense. Why would he not have started on the soft tyre? He's basically gone one extra lap on a slower tyre. But anyway, let's see where he comes out. He is already out of the pits, is he? And he is a little ways ahead of us. So this hasn't really worked. I think what happened was Sargeant getting in front of Magnussen really didn't work out at all, because I think what happened was Sargeant lost the back of Verstappen and the Mercedes, and then, well, we just dropped back a couple of seconds too much. So yeah, let's see what happens. Another safety car would be nice later in the race. We can come in, we've got a nice fresh set of softs we can whack on and see what happens, as some other cars are coming in the pits here as well. And this should start to even things out a little bit now. Let's see, K-Mag is now obviously still behind Bottas. So the problem is that there are two cars between ourselves and Verstappen right now. And absolute worst case scenario, we want no cars. We want to push him across the line. But we need to get past this Williams, and if we can do it and happen to get Bottas in the process, then I would be okay with that, as Russell's coming in. So we kind of see that we're going to come out roughly with him as well, aren't we? As Bottas does indeed get a move done there. We're going to need to go into overtake here and make sure we are getting there. He's coming in the pits anyway. So do we have DRS? We do. We need to try and go with Bottas here, and Russell is in front of him as well. So 5th and 6th right now, with Verstappen winning. That is not going to get it done for us, is that we need to be better than that. Okay, so here's what we're going to look to do with Magnussen. I think we're going to look to make another stop and go on to soft tyres. Now, the reason we're doing this, if we just go back here, I think it's paused, yeah. Bottas has got past us and is driving away. We're opening up a gap behind us. If we look at intervals to the leader, I think if we push on and then go into a soft tyre, I think we should open up. We've got, what, 5 or 6 seconds already, so we need another 20-odd seconds. But we'll be able to fully push. And I just feel like that is probably the best way for us to try and get more or get closer. I think if the way things stand right now, what's going to happen is we're going to finish 5th. Verstappen's going to finish at least somewhere in the top 3. And that's not really going to help us. I think doing this, worst case scenario, we finish 7th. The difference between 5th and 7th is not that many points. And if Verstappen's winning or coming in the top 3, it's not really going to make that much of a difference. Now, the benefit to this as well is that he might actually drag along Sargeant with him. Now, I do have Sargeant on Don't Fight Your Teammate, so he's sitting there basically holding Perez back for us. So he's doing a good job on that front. But yeah, Verstappen is quite quick, and we're just not... We were just sitting there. We weren't doing anything. So yeah, it kind of splits the strategies for us a little bit as well. So Sargeant can still do his one stop on his hard tyre. And yeah, we'll see. We'll go as far as we can on this hard tyre. And we don't want to go too far, but the harder we can push on a soft tyre, the better. And who knows, maybe we get lucky with a safety car. I think we're going to need that to win. What's the gap to Norris right now? We're just over, not quite a second a lap faster than him. If we go to leader, 7, so we've got 10 seconds. We should be able to get another 10 seconds, I think, before we need to come in and stop. Alright, so we have more pit stops happening. Perez has come in to stop. He was getting held up behind Sargeant. You notice Sargeant has dropped off the back a little bit. That was mainly because what I had done is I was telling Sargeant to harvest behind Magnussen. And he just didn't quite, just dropped off just outside the second. He hasn't been able to get it back. But obviously Perez has dropped off the back now as well. Now, one thing we do want to be a little bit aware of here is what lap we're on. So we can pit K-Mag here for a soft tyre. He's got another set of fresh soft tyres. And hopefully, well, we'll see where he comes out. Everybody else is on hard tyres. So yeah, we'll just see if this works, won't we? Basically. Hopefully we get a good stop. Let's jump on board with K-Mag for the stop. Do we come out ahead of Perez? I don't know if we are going to. No, there goes Perez now. But, crucially, we have a nice fresh set of soft tyres on. I don't think we can push quite that much, but we can certainly go here. So we come out in 9th. Let's see how far we can take K-Mag up this field. Alright, now I am going to bring in Sargeant as well for soft tyres. I mean, Magnussen is doing 19 lows compared to 21 highs. I suspect that Sargeant, I mean, you'll make up the time for the stop in very little time at all. So that moves Magnussen up to 5th and absolutely flying. We'll see where Sargeant comes out. We're thinking around about 14th somewhere. But with fresh tyres to the end now, he should still... He's not going to be 14th, I tell you that for nothing. He's come out in 9th. And, well, we'll see what sort of lap times he can do here. I suspect... We won't push him quite that hard, but I suspect he will be able to get himself maybe ahead of Perez. Gasly, I think, will probably be doing well to get any further up than that. But K-Mag now, Leclerc is basically break even on this strategy. How are we doing on tyre life? We've got a little bit extra, so let's push a little bit harder. What I don't want is for Sargeant to nick Magnussen's fastest lap here. And there's a danger of that happening, so we won't deploy him, that's for sure. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on lap times. We're not that much faster than Leclerc right now, but we are massively faster, almost 2 seconds a lap of Russell than the front 3. So I don't think we're going to win the race. There's still, what, 14 or so laps to go. So let's see how close we can get. Oh, Sargeant has spun. You just can't get him to push without him stuffing up. Bloody hell, Logan Sargeant. He just gotten past, I think it was Stroll, someone in the Aston Martin. And then he goes and does that. Multiple cars have crashed. Can we dare dream of a safety car? All right, this is game back on now. Alright, we can bring K-Mag in for more or less, except that's done 1 lap in qualifying, more or less, of soft tyres. He'll drop a couple of positions. One of those, no, it won't be the Sargeant, but the advantage of getting that fresh soft tyre on, it will be immeasurable. And we'll be right behind. We needed this. We needed this, and we might be about to get something. Now, hopefully nobody else stops. Are they all on hard tyres? Russell is out. Okay, so what has happened here? The leaders have crashed. Have they taken out Verstappen? Please have hit Verstappen. Please have hit Verstappen. Please hit Verstappen. It's the first 3 and... Oh, they have hit Verstappen! Well, well, well. So he's going to have to stop. We still need to stop. We still need to do it because they're going to put on soft tyres, aren't they? Oh, and that's a crash. They're going to put on soft tyres, so we have to do this anyway. It just makes it more crucial that we stop. Alright, now there's actually an argument here to say I've stuffed this up. If we had stayed out, we would have been second, still on a soft tyre with Leclerc in front of us, ahead of Verstappen, who's now on a set of soft tyres at roughly the same age as ours. So there is yeah, like I say, maybe we've done the wrong thing there, and I should have stayed out with K-Mag, got track position. There's 4 laps to go. There's 4 laps to go. Let's see what becomes of this. He might have damage on his car, which will help us. We're going to get past Bottas there. Nicely done. Can we get Gasly as well? Well, not quite got Bottas done yet. We should get it now. And if we can get Gasly into this corner, he's on his old hard tyres. We need to get past and get after the front 3. We should have... Is Bottas boxed in? I think we're boxed in. We need to get past Gasly as soon as possible here. And who's going to get it done? Oh, Bottas has got the inside line. Come on, we need to get this done, Kevin. We need to get this done. I have a horrible feeling I've stuffed that up, haven't I? We would have been on soft tyres anyway. Yeah, I've made a mistake there, I think. And now we're stuck behind Gasly as they drive away from us. This is just going horribly wrong. Oh, that's a good place for a move. Can we get Gasly now as well? Kevin Magnussen, 2 cars. He's done that beautifully. Now, can he get after the front 3? He's got fastest lap as well, which will help minimise the damage of having Verstappen in front of us. ERS is now empty. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 1. That doesn't happen to be Verstappen throwing it up the road, does it?
ERS is currently disabled. ERS is currently disabled.
Yeah,
Vettel has crashed, so that doesn't really affect us, does it? Competitor has crashed, yeah, that's all fine. I mean, we do have a lot. And Verstappen wasn't that quick in qualifying, and it looks like he is struggling to get past here. Lap times. What were the last lap times? So they were doing 19.5s. We were stuck behind Gasly for most of that lap. We are catching. There is going to be 2 laps to go as we cross the line. We did an 18.2. So we are definitely faster than them, although we don't have any ERS right now. Can we do some last lap heroics here? I mean, we should keep half an eye on how Sargeant's doing. He is there behind. Bottas is still stuck behind Gasly. So we are behind Max Verstappen. Can we stick a move on him and go ahead? Come on, K-Mag. Come on, K-Mag. Come on, K-Mag. He goes up the inside. Outside will become the inside if we can keep it there. There we go. We should have this. We should have this. We're ahead of Max Verstappen. We're ahead of Max Verstappen. It is the last race, last lap, I should say, of the race. We've got the 2 in front going side by side. Can we get a move done here? Let's go deploy down this back straight because we have nothing to lose by using it at this point. Can we get ahead of Leclerc? We can. We are second. We have Perez in front of us. We will keep deploying if there's any hope. If there's any hope, can we get it done into the stadium section? There's a DRS zone here. The battery is empty. Are we close enough? Are we close enough? Are we close enough? Not quite. And it doesn't look like we're going to win the race. But we are going to follow home Perez. Perez will win. Magnussen comes second. Verstappen fourth. And Sargeant, if he can he get Gasly? Can he get Gasly for 5th? It doesn't. Oh, he's got around the outside. Bottas gets him back for 7th. But that was a stunning end to the race. And Kevin Magnussen, championship back on.
Well, the Dane had a very impressive race, really delivering when the pressure was on.
So, 2nd and 7th in the end. If I jumped a little bit sooner with the Logan Sargeant stop, it might have worked out a little bit better for him, although in truth the safety car at the end there probably would have nullified that. Had I left K-Mag out, would he have won the race? Yes, I think it's probably the answer, though he wouldn't have been able to push quite as hard, but he only would have had Leclerc in front of him. And so I think I've made a mistake there, but in the end, K-Mag's brilliance has sort of minimized it. So 11 points is the gap. There are 2 races to go, and we have a new underfloor to come. Sargeant moves himself back inside the top 10. He's up to 9th now. He is not going to go any higher than that, but that's because he's been a little bit crap at times. And crucially, we've extended the gap back out to Mercedes, so that sort of eases the tensions, I think, of whether or not we come 3rd. But that will do it for today. If you have enjoyed that, make sure you hit thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. We will be back. It is Brazil next, isn't it? We will have our new underfloor. It is done. It will be manufactured and on the car. And 11 points is the gap. If K-Mag can win the last 2 races with fastest lap, I don't think it matters what Verstappen does. He will be world champion. So it's in his hands. Let me know what you think in the comments. Will he do it? Hopefully I won't stuff up his strategy. He's more of a chance then, isn't he? Alright, guys. Take care.